hello and namaste to all my viewers and my dear students. So in our last video we have learned about the part 1 of this article. That means we have learned about the use of definite and indefinite articles. Now today we are going to read about the second part of article, and that is about omission of articles. That means we are going to read the conditions in which we are not using any kind of articles. So students, so are you ready for this? Okay, so today we are going to read about the omission of articles. So that means the conditions in which we don't use articles. So now today this is your last video for articles, because from the first video and second video you can clearly know the concept about articles. So let's begin. Okay, so as you can see in your video that we don't use any kind of articles in front of name of persons, places, countries, etc. For examples like Kathmandu. Okay, like I live, we say I live in Kathmandu, but we do not say I live in the Kathmandu. Or it can be like I live in a Kathmandu. Okay, similarly in the name of persons like Hari, Gita, also we don't use any kind of articles. For example, Hari is my brother. Okay, we say Hari is my brother. We don't say a Hari is my brother, or an Hari is my brother, or the Hari is my brother. Okay, similarly we don't use any kind of articles in the countries like Nepal, China. Okay, but there is exception case that we have already talked in our first video of this article. Okay, so if you are the new one, then please watch our first video in which we have already talked about the use of the article in some countries. Okay, so I will give you some examples related to countries as well. For example, I love my country Nepal. Okay, you cannot say like I live in the Nepal, I live in a Nepal. Okay, so I think this is the first condition in which we don't apply any kind of articles. Okay, now let's move ahead. You can see here we don't use article in front of abstract and material nouns too. I think you already know about what is meant by abstract noun and what is meant by materials noun. Actually abstract nouns mean the feeling, okay, that you have inside human beings or any kind of animals, like love, angerness, hate. Okay, those are known as what? Abstract nouns. Similarly, material nouns. Material noun means it's the name of the nouns like milk, rice, gold, iron. Okay, in front of such words also we don't use any kind of articles. Okay, for example, you can see here honesty, beauty, iron, milk, etc. So those are the examples of abstract noun and material nouns, and we don't use any kind of article in front of those words too. Okay, for example, we say honesty is the best policy. Okay, we don't say an honesty is a best policy. Okay, and we neither say that honesty is the best policy. Similarly, in material nouns also we don't use any kind of articles. For example, I buy milk in the shop. Okay, you cannot say I buy the milk in the shop, or you cannot say I buy milk in the shop, because those in front of the material nouns we don't use any kind of article. So this is the case number 2 for not using the articles. So I think you have learned the two conditions up to now. So now let's move again forward. Okay, so as you can see, in front of the meals also you don't have to use any kind of articles. Okay, for example, like dinner, breakfast, lunch. Okay, generally we say like I am having dinner. Okay, you don't say I am having a dinner, I am having the dinner. Similarly, in case of breakfast, lunch also we don't use any kind of articles. So this is the case number 3. Okay, similarly there is no use of articles in front of disease as well. Okay, like for example, you can see here cancer, TB, fever. Okay, those are the some examples of disease. Okay, in front of those words also we don't use any kind of articles. For example, generally we say like I am suffering from cancer. Okay, we don't say that I am suffering from the cancer, from a cancer. Okay, but there is two exception case in disease. Generally we use the in front of the disease named measles and mumps. Okay, these two are the exception case of this rule. Okay, so I think now you got much more information about the use of removal of the articles. So now let's move ahead again. Okay, so now you can see in front of the games too, we don't use any kind of articles like table tennis, volleyball, cricket. Okay, for example, if I make one sentence to make you more clear. For example, like students are playing table tennis. We don't say students are playing the table tennis or students are playing a table tennis. Okay, because we don't use any kind of articles in front of the games too. Okay, you can see here volleyball, cricket. So you can make more sentences related to those conditions without using any kind of articles. Okay, so as you can see here, you don't have to use any kind of articles in front of colors as well as seasons, months and days too. Okay, we generally don't use any kind of articles. For example, like she looks pretty in red sari. Okay, we don't say she looks pretty in the red sari, or we don't say she looks pretty in a red sari, because we generally don't use any kind of articles in front of colors. Okay, so the next condition for not using the articles, so we have in the name of seasons, months and days too. Okay, like winter, January, Monday, Sunday. So in front of those words also we don't have to use any kind of articles. Okay, like for example, my birthday is on Monday. We don't say my birthday is on a Sunday. We don't say my birthday is on the Monday. Okay, so these 7 conditions are applied for not using any kind of articles while using in a sentence. So I hope these 3 conditions make you more clear about the removal of the articles or not using the articles, and I think it will be much more easier. Okay, if you know about those conditions, it will be much more helpful while writing any kind of essays, while writing any kind of answers or any kind of sorts of piece of writing. Okay, if you know about the removal of the articles or the omission of the articles. Okay, so students, now let's take some examples and try to do. Okay, because you have already now learned the concepts about articles. So here are some questions, okay, that you can practice yourself, and I will also do myself and tell you the logic or the concept behind those kind of questions. So students, so are you ready? Okay, now let's see from first. Okay, so here you are given the sentences, okay, and you have to fill up those blank spaces with a and the or nothing. Okay, nothing means you can simply remove those kind of articles. Okay, now let's see from first. Okay, so you can see the 2 sentences, number 1 and number 2. Okay, they do look little bit similar, but something is missing about them. That means you can look here, life is beautiful. Okay, I think you can guess what will be the answer. And next one is, life of a wise man is beautiful. So what is the difference between these 2 questions? Okay, so I think if you are very smart, then you already know the answer, but if you not, then let me help you. Okay, first one, so you can see here, life is beautiful. Okay, so this life belongs to which noun? This life belongs to the abstract noun. So just before we have studied there is no use of articles in abstract noun, so that's why we don't need to keep any kind of articles in front of life. Okay, but whenever we look at the number 2 question, so you can see the little bit difference. Look here, life of a wise man is beautiful. So here we are focusing the wise man. Okay, we are focusing a wise man. So if we have to focus or we have to specify any things or any objects, then what you have to keep? You have to keep the. Okay, because the is definite article. So this is the difference between 1 and 2. So I think it is much more clear to you now. Okay, now let's go to the question number 3 and 4. Okay, similarly here also you can see the little bit difference in these two sentences, number 3 and 4, even though they look the same. Okay, for example, you can see here, she is dash good girl. So in 4, she is dash girl who looks pretty today. So what is the difference in between these two? I think you already know. Yeah, so if you don't know, then please keep on watching this video. Okay, now let's see here, she is good girl. So what will be its answer? A, an, or the, or nothing. So what will be? So this is one of the simple sentences. Okay, and in a general type of sentence we generally use A. Okay, and you can see here, you can pronounce like this word good girl. So good, that means it sounds like Vyanjan Varna, so you have to keep here A. Okay, similarly let's go down. So look here, she is dash girl who looks pretty today. Okay, that means we are focusing here to the girls. So what kind of girl is she? That means she is pretty girl today. That means she is looking pretty. Yeah. So that's why if there is specification of any kind of nouns, then we have to use the article. Okay. So your answer will be she is the girl who looks pretty today. So this is common type of sentence. So this one is little bit specified sentence. Okay, that means here the girl is specified. Okay, that means she is looking pretty. So who is looking pretty? Girl is looking pretty. So that's why we have to use the article in this sentence. Okay. Now similarly, let's see number 5 and 6. So number 5 and 6 two looks pretty similar, but little bit there is also a difference. Okay, so now let's see the 5th sentence. So here you can see Mr. Hari drinks dash cup of tea daily. Okay, and in question number 6 you can see Mr. Hari drinks dash tea. So what is the difference in between these two sentences? Okay, so let's see here, Mr. Hari drinks dash cup of tea. Okay, so here the sentence is focusing to the cup. Okay, so it's a cup, that means it is generally the singular one, and so that's why it will be a cup of tea daily. Okay, and this is one of the regular habits of Mr. Hari too. Okay, so and we have to keep A, not an, because while you pronounce cup, then it sounds like Vyanjan Varna, so you have to keep here A. Okay, similarly now in question number 6 you can see here, look, Hari drinks tea. So here tea, in which noun does it belong to? Okay, tea is material noun. Okay, that means we cannot count this tea. Okay, so that's why we don't have to use a also, we don't have to use an also. Similarly there is no specification for the tea, so that's why we don't use the also. So now we have to use nothing. Okay, so you can simply put cross in this sentence. So this is about number 5 and 6. Okay, now let's see number 7 and 8. Okay, so you can see here Rameshwar is MA student. I think in our previous video also we have already talked about this word MA. So when you pronounce the word MA, then it sounds like Swar Varna. That means when you pronounce, then A comes first. Okay, so that's why we have to keep here N. Okay, so this is one of the easiest question. So next one, let's see about number 8. Okay, you can see here blank Kathmandu Post is the popular newspaper in Nepal. Okay, so as we have already learned in our previous video that in the name of the popular newspapers we have to keep the, so this is also the, okay, in question number 8. So in this way, now I think you can determine whether to use a or an or the or nothing. Okay, so I think this video will be much more helpful to all the students that you are watching right now. Okay, and we have already completed the chapters articles, okay, for today, and I hope you will be much more excellent in this kind of questions related to articles. So keep on watching and keep on subscribing our channel, because we will be posting different kinds of, or we will be publishing different kinds of videos. Okay, so till then, have a good day. Bye bye.